Hey everybody, hope all is well. So today we're actually going to do another inner voicing movement, okay? This time is actually going to be over the 5. And it's going to be over a dominant chord. We've done inner voicing movements over the major 7. Let's say we're doing, let's say we're in C. And, we do something over that, the major 7. Little stuff like that. But we're actually going to do a movement from Cory. He does something, and I actually have the video in the link, right, in the description, okay? This is at the beginning of the video, okay? What he does, I think it starts at 24 seconds all the way to about 34 seconds. He goes from the 2 to the 5. So I'm actually going to cover both movements, okay? First, I'm going to start with what he does over the 5. Then later in the video, I'll actually break down how I view the little movement that he did over the 2 also, okay? So he's in C, right? And when he gets to the 5, it's a dominant, okay? Now, the good thing about this chord, especially, let's say if we voice it like this, you have your root, you have your 7, and you have your 3rd, right? So that's pretty cool. The 5 is you don't necessarily have to play it. But so this is what he does. He does this. Then. Okay. So I feel like that can bring a lot of value to how we approach our inner voicing movements. Okay. So for starters, even looking at this, I see now that everything is moving in 3rds, or some people say 6, right? I look at it like 3rds, but it's okay. So let's just at least break down the notes first. So after he play his chord, he starts on the chord tones, okay? So watch this. Okay, you see that first one? I got that B and D, right? B in my right hand, D in my left. After this, everything is just half steps, okay? So watch this. You see? Now, of course, the timing, the timing is like, something like that. But I at least want you to get the notes, because if you get the notes, now you can kind of, create your own sound and have your own ideas, okay? So we're just moving up half steps, okay? All right. Once he does the first, couple of notes quick, he does, okay, he goes there. Now, of course, I'm, transcribing this, but I don't necessarily consider myself like some master transcriber, okay? But I was already going to do a, this type of movement, something like this, and then a subscriber actually suggested this, and it just worked out. It was just perfect timing, right? So shout out to you, okay? So here we go. We have, okay. Let me see. So this is the furthest we go right here. We stop at this F and A flat, okay? So up until that point is, okay? So it's still a 3rd or 6. Okay, all this is just half steps. So the rhythm is, I'll do a little bit slow. It's like this. And now we just walk it back down. Now, usually, of course, you have to resolve, right? So in this case, what he does this. Okay, does a little half step movement to get back to the dominant chord. Okay, so that's a really good movement. Okay, and a really good idea. So if you know where you're going, or you already know you're here, so you can play around with the chord tones. Now, if you guys decide to do something else, especially with these 3rds, it's okay. All right. Once you get the idea, I want you to take it and make it your own. Okay. Okay. So that's actually pretty good. Now, to get to the 5, we can take the approach of using the 2. Now, a lot of times the 2 is also a dominant chord, right? So he does, let me see. So he's on a 6, then he goes to the 2. And then you can do something like, that's kind of how I approach it. If you just want to if you want to play the chord and then do like this third movement. Okay, so I'm really focusing on thirds, so that's why I'm taking this type of approach to it. So what you can do, or I can play it up here too. Okay, so what you can do is you can do, okay, now we, like I said, we also know where we're going to. So watch this. You can do this and see how close I am. All right, so now once you get here to this A flat and B, I do like a little grace note. Okay, now this is not probably exactly what he played. I'm just taking what I hear as far as the melody and putting it with the third. Okay, and making it a third movement. Okay, so watch this. Okay, and then, okay, but over this too, something that I learned a couple of years ago was this. Over this dominant chord, if you just look at your right hand, you're technically playing like minor chords. Okay, and I taught this a couple of months ago, right? So usually we'll do something like this. Watch this. Okay, so if you look at this, all of these are just minor chords, right? Now, of course, when you associate that with the bass, then that's when you have your, you know, technical names for it, right? But when you just look at all these minor chords, a lot of times what you can do is, if we know we want to end here, right? This is what Cory, right? He ends there, and then, okay? So if I know I want to end here, technically I can do minor chord movements, like just half steps. So I can do something like this. Watch this. Watch this. You see what I just did? So, and then, I love that movement, by the way. But this right here, okay? So that is a really nice movement to do. And some knowledge, you know, now you know, like when you're on a dominant chord, you don't always have to settle with doing something like, okay? You can actually take that concept and, you know, you can just, you know, mix it up. So, you know, just to keep it, you know, close to this example right here, we can take it and do this, okay? So you have like this F minor chord, right? And then you go here, and then we can do this all over that D. Okay, so I hit the chord first, and then, okay, so I hope that, you know, that brings some value. Okay, you can play around with some your minor chords. And then you can resolve it, get to the chord that you actually, you know, desire to get to. And especially with this right here, I feel like that's a nice movement. Okay. So, and by the way, the Drop 2 series is actually out on the site, so you can check that out. Click the link below. So I'm actually gonna have that in the description too. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this lesson. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Definitely like the video, okay? It really helps the channel. All right, and take care.